You know what they need that money for, Herc? Paying the next manager. Who that next manager is going to be, we don't know. But David Feitelson, our colleague over at ESPN Deportes, is reporting that Marcelo Bielsa is the primary candidate to next manage Mexico. David also reporting that he's one of 4 candidates. Did I see David's going to announce them all on Futbol Picante tonight? So make sure you tune in. Of course, Bielsa last with Leeds. The national team level, he has managed both Argentina and Chile. Herc, what do you think? Marcelo Bielsa, a good fit, the right fit for Mexico moving forward?
First off, I would never go against what a colleague says. But David said last week Miguel Herrera was the number 1 candidate. So that's interesting. Now, back to Marcelo Bielsa, not his first foray in Mexican football. He's coached in Liga MX. He's been approached by the Mexican national team before. I'm not so sure it's that far off to how people are saying this would never happen. This can easily happen. Is it the right choice? Oh, man. If you're telling me right now the Mexican national team player pool is a player pool that can play that style, that dynamic and chaotic and often very physical and very, very damaging to the player emotionally and physically, if they have those players, I'm going to say no, they don't. This is a big name. This is a reach for a hope for the fan base. This is a way for them to be energized, motivated, from don't pay attention to what's going on here. Look at this big shiny toy. That's what it is for me. Marcelo Bielsa was a very good coach. Marcelo Bielsa has done a lot of very good things. But Marcelo Bielsa and this Mexican national team is a recipe for disaster, and I don't see it being a productive one.
I gotta say, Herc, for once, I agree with you. In fact, I believe when we did our who should be the next U.S. men's national team head coach, I picked Bielsa as my possible, not as my reach, certainly not as my safety, but as my possible manager, because I think he fits the U.S. pool much better. What do you need to play Bielsa's style, to your point? You need young guys, you need athletic guys, and you probably need a deep roster, right? A deep team. I think the U.S. is all 3 of those things. I don't think Mexico is any of those things. I don't think Mexico has a particularly young team, a particularly fast team, or a particularly deep team. I don't think the style fits what Mexico would best be served to do at the international level. I have told you, Herc, keep your idealists away from my national team, unless those idealists are pragmatists like Diego Simeone. I want a pragmatist. Bielsa is the opposite of that. He might have you play some beautiful football, but you might also be shipping 6, 7, or, as Memo Ochoa learned this weekend,
ouch,
maybe even 8.
Ouch. That's unfair, but okay.
You watched Leeds. You watched Leeds.
I did. Bielsa tree, okay? Bielsa, Pochettino, he's taking some of the Bielsa with him. And one that fans in North America will know very well, Matias Almeida. Now, look at the good and the bad of Matias Almeida. Matias Almeida, because of how young he is, because of that rapport with the player, que se lleva bien, that he understands, he's a good manager, is great things for the player. But his style, it wears thin. Physically, it's demanding. Emotionally, it's draining. It's a game where you have to be at all times very tuned in because you're man marking all over the field, and one bad play, as you said, could be the goal against, and then you're chasing the game and it turns into 2, 3, 4 goals against. But oftentimes it's very entertaining for the neutral, for the casual, because they're high-scoring games. I don't think having high-scoring games benefits any team, but benefits the Mexican national team. And I'm with you. While for the pundit, for us that analyze this, it would be a circus, a train wreck, and I would very much enjoy it, covering it. I don't think it's productive for the Mexican fan or the Mexican pool.
Yeah. Listen, man, Bielsa would be very, very expensive, and it's worth noting he's from Argentina. They just had a very expensive Argentine manager, and it didn't work out for the Mexicans.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.